The landlords have been kicked. The landlords have been punched. They've been soccer punched. They've been elbowed. And look what's happening to investors in the Australian market. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it right now.
All right. Good morning.
How are ya?
Good. Missed everyone. First one back.
You've been gone for 3 weeks. What'd you do?
A bit of everything. Skydiving, Great Barrier Reef dive. Been everywhere. Seen it all. Some really cool bucket list items. So I've been very lucky. But yes, got to come back to work and kick it all off again.
What did your UK buddy say about Australia? Does he love it?
I think he's going to be back. Yeah, I think he won't be the first. He wouldn't be the first English person to move out here and never go back. So yeah, there's definitely. Did he? Back.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Billy had his mate come from the UK for 3 weeks. You'd been there for last 6 months ago and hung out with him a little bit. What is he, a school buddy or something? Is he?
Yeah, oldest school friend, and he's at uni now, but came out here for 3 weeks and definitely saw a better lifestyle. So, yeah.
And did he make a pledge?
Made a pledge. I think when you look at what life is like back home in the UK, there's some great culture there. Obviously, it's nice with the family all close together, but it's just not the same lifestyle. And it's actually really nice to show. Quite often, it's us going back. Now it's nice to have someone come out here and show them the other way of life.
There you go. Now, Billy Bob, the investor out there. This is ugly. Let's have a look at this. Can you explain this?
Well, we've got a bit of news to break to you this morning. People that own homes, they're getting grey hairs, and it's not from mortgage stress, it's not from interest rates, they're simply just getting older. So what you're looking at right now is general trends of landlords by age. Now, I hope you can see that as well as I can, but starting from the bottom and working way up, pink is under 30, you've got like a lighter blue over 60, which is the sharpest increase. Another blue, turquoise, 30 to 39, and then a 40 to 50 group as well at the top. So what we're seeing is landlords are getting older, and they're certainly not getting any younger, and that trend seems to be only getting worse.
So that baseline right at the bottom, that pink one's, what age is that?
Under 30, which hasn't changed drastically. It's more the sharp increase from the over 60s. So reading from the top, more than half of all property investors are aged over 50, with those aged over 60 accounting for the largest share of any group. So over 50s account for over half of property ownership investors.
But I think life of a landlord's has been very, very different in every generation, guys and girls. If you look at how a landlord, the trials and tribulations of a landlord in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, now in the 2020s, it's a very, very different landscape for a landlord. A landlord now has to pay 0.5% more interest rate or 1% more interest rate. That traditionally was the same interest rate as a homeowner previously. So they're being forced out of the market by paying higher rates. Now, it may not sound a lot when you say 0.5%, but when interest rates, you are paying 10 to 20% on that interest more as a landlord than an investor. And what I mean by that, if you're 0.5% and your interest rates are more, and your interest rates are differentiation, and your interest rates are sitting at 5%. Well, that's a 10% difference in swing that you've got there. So, Billy, landlords in a tribunal. It's a common known that you go to tribunal and it's going to fall in the tenant's favour. Tribunal members will always preference that way. It's not a 50-50 sort of decision we see from experience. We're going to the tribunal quite regularly. So that the laws that are coming in, landlords are being told they can't put their rent up more than once a year. Landlords are being told that they can't do offers over on their rents. Landlords are being told they can't, their agent or representative can't provoke tenants to pay more for their rent. Landlords are being told have not been incentivised as a category or as a class probably for almost 35 to 40 years now. As a matter of fact, the last incentive that was offered by our government to a landlord was negative gearing, which was a very, very, very long time ago.
So do you think it's gotten less cool to own a property now?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think also what people shouldn't forget is superannuation was a new thing that was introduced to the Australian economy, and when that was introduced, a massive part of that was compulsory savings that would have traditionally gone into investment property for a mum and dad investor, and they took away 10% of people's earnings and said mandatory, we're going to make your employer take this out of your account, we're going to whack it in a thing called super. So I think people's psyche that they're going to be looked after when they're older is now that it'll be done with their super, whereas in the 70s, 80s and even 90s, people like, there is no one looking after us when we're getting older, we must buy an investment property.
It's really interesting though, seeing those numbers. If you'd asked me before I'd seen the stats, true or false, does 50% of investment properties are they owned by people over 50? I would have probably said false. I would have thought that number would be slightly smaller. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and obviously interesting to see. Do we sell probably 1 out of 2 to a family of over the age of 50? Yeah, maybe. So there you go. Got a few comments there as well. Billy's back. Morning, Liz. Catched up landlords. Lucky for renters, get cheaper rents. Bucket list item was next generation. Do we see? Do you think you're going to start to see some of these properties handed down, Mark?
Look, when typically, and this is going over a very long period, people don't. People prefer the opportunity of cash to be able to do what they like, rather than in a fixed asset like property. It was mum or dad's dream or granddad's dream to have the investment properties, but more often than not, I see them disposed of. When it's an experience, when it's a property that's passed down, and more also, it's normally between a couple of dependents. So normally, it's hard for that investment property to go to someone because it's normally some people. There's 2, 3, 4 of them, so easier to sell it, chop it.
Yeah, I do agree. Bloody laws, too many rules for landlords, and percentage of investor sales has increased in the last 5 years. Absolutely. Morning, Luke. It's really interesting to see. I think, is it going to be a problem? Can you see that being a problem for young people?
I think the pressure that's on our rental market is people don't realise it's generational pressure. They think it's a result of our economy or COVID or the last couple of years. I think it's a result of probably 20, 30, 40 years of bad planning, because the incentives to have mum and dad investors, which was always our way of life, that incentive's gone. There's been, like, I can probably count 20 or 30 different variations of first home buyer incentives. in my career. I've never seen a investor incentive come into the marketplace. They are two big category classes that the government would want to see buying. So the reality, Bill, is it's going to be the institutional investor. It's going to be build to rent models. The corporates are going to step in, and the corporates are going to be the landlords for these tenants in the future. So I'm seeing building blocks of 50, 100, 200 units. None of them get sold. All of them get held by the company, and all of them get rented out. So the institutional investor will step into the market, and the mum and dad investors will be gone forever.
There you go. That's a changing shift, a shifting dynamics in real estate.
It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad. And look, one thing that we've missed, Billy Bob, is we are seeing people buy with their superannuation property. So that's the mum and dad investor still, but in a different entity. But they're buying sub 500,000 stuff, 300, 400, 500. They just don't have enough in their super there to buy something for $1 million, or 800,000. So, and then it is very clever of the government. It is locked away till 65, 70. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, but that's that is the numbers for you guys. So, young people, you're a minority. If you're under the age of 30, you're certainly a minority to be holding an investment property at this age.
And you know what? I think the government's got a duty there to step in and to make it a bit more exciting for landlords, or a bit easier for landlords, and that will free up our rental market 100%. They think that building is the only way out of it. But not necessarily.
Needs to be cool.
Needs to be cool.
Needs to be cool.
Welcome back, Billy Bob.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Have a good day. See ya.
See ya.